I've been racing four-stroke go-karts competitively for the last 2 years, otherwise known as 4SS here in Australia. It's like an entry-level karting class, and I've been getting a lot of questions from you guys asking how much does it actually cost to get into four-stroke karting, or how much does it cost to run over the course of a season? So when I first started, I had all of these same questions, and I really wish that there was someone who just had a video explaining everything and how much it's all going to cost. So hopefully this will be that video for you guys, and we'll go over all of the different costs. Just keep in mind that this is a rough guide, so you might spend more or you might spend less, but this is just a rough estimate to give you an idea of how much it might cost to get into entry-level competition karting. Anyway, let's get into it. So the first and most expensive thing on this list is obviously the kart itself. And if you're watching this video, you're probably either one of two people. You either know that you want to buy a brand new kart and you don't want to spend all this time hunting around on Marketplace to try and find a good pre-used kart. You just want something you know you can trust and is good to go. Or you're the exact opposite and you're just going to be looking for a pre-used kart because you want to save as much money as possible. And you know that for the first 6 months to a year, you're going to be just practicing and learning anyway, so you don't necessarily need the latest and greatest. When you buy a brand new kart, you're not just buying it already pre-made off the shelf. So this cost is made up of the following components. First up is the rolling chassis, which costs $4,490. This consists of the main frame or chassis of the kart that everything attaches to. It includes the wheel rims, the steering assembly, the plastics. It's essentially just the body or the main body of the kart itself. Next, we need an engine, and for that we're going to be using the Torini Club Max engine. The whole engine kit is what we'll need, and that will cost $1,950. We'll need a trolley to carry and move around our kart, and that's going to cost us $273. The cost of a seat is going to be roughly $210. This will vary. The seat is something that we go and have fitted to us because obviously we need to make sure that we have the right size and that we're comfortable in our kart. We also need tyres on our kart. In this case, we're using the Maxxis white tyres and we need a set of 4, and this is going to come to $265. The last component of buying a brand new kart is the actual full kart assembly itself, and this is something that we usually go to a store or a professional karting shop to have assembled for us. In this instance, it costs $850, and it's worth keeping in mind that all of the costings, or most of them that I mention in this estimate, are from DP Kart Superstore, which is just a karting store / manufacturer here in Australia, and I would highly recommend them for your kart assembly. There's also MKC as well, Melbourne Kart Centre, who are another good option to have a look at. I'll make sure to put the links to their website in the description of this video. With that in mind, a brand new kart is going to cost you $8,038, give or take. When I started karting, I looked at getting a pre-owned kart, and I'm assuming most of you are going to go down that avenue as well. And the cost of a pre-owned kart is usually going to be around $4,000, give or take. This usually includes all the different parts of the kart. So it includes the engine, it includes the seat, the trolley, it includes all the different little miscellaneous items. And then let's say we have to buy a set of tyres, that'll cost $265. I think the key piece of information I want you guys to take away from this, if you're going to buy a pre-used kart, is that in general, anywhere from $3,500 to $4,500 for a kart is something I would consider a very good deal. So that can be like your ballpark or base cost that you can keep in your mind when you're looking on Marketplace for a pre-used kart. I have everything that I list in this video inside my Ultimate Karting Cost Guide, which you can access for free. If you'd like all of the links to all the items, the links to the karting shop websites that I use, just everything that I've talked about in this video, I've included that in the Ultimate Karting Cost Guide. It's all free, and all you have to do is just join my Patreon as a free member and you'll get access to that. So now we need to know how much the licensing, the memberships and other subscriptions are going to cost. If we're going to be racing competition, then we need to have a Karting Australia competition license. This is going to cost $400 per year, and it allows us to enter as many competitions as we like throughout that year. If we're not racing competition, competition, then we can go with the Karting Australia social practice license. This allows us to do as many social practice sessions at our local club that we're a member at, and it also includes one competition race entry per year. The Karting Australia social practice license costs $175 per year. Whether we're doing social practice or racing in competition, we need to be a member of a go-kart club. In this instance, if we were to become a member of the Oakley Go-Kart Club, it's going to cost us $390 per year, plus an $80 joining fee, which is only for the first time join. After that, renewing this membership doesn't include that fee. The membership cost completely depends on the club, and it varies between every single go-kart club. So that's something that you can find at your local club's website. If we're looking at racing and competitions, there's only one more thing that we will need, and that is a MyLap transponder. The transponder is what goes on your kart, and it connects to the timing tower so that when you complete each lap, the timing system can see exactly what your lap times are, and it's something that you need for racing competitions. So currently, to buy one of these MyLap's transponders, it works in a subscription service. It costs $169.50 per year. When you purchase this subscription, they send you out the actual transponder for free, and then you can set it all up and renew your subscriptions each year just simply via an app that it connects to. You can find older MyLap's transponders on Facebook Marketplace that are pre-used and don't have this subscription system, and it's just a one-time payment. However, I'm not experienced with that, and I don't actually know how that works or what's involved to set that up. So I use the current MyLap's transponder and I pay $169.50 per year to renew it. So that brings our licensing, memberships and subscriptions to a total of $1,039. The next category, which is also really important, is the must-have race gear, and this is all the gear that is required in order to race. It's one of those categories where you can either spend a lot of money or you can save a lot of money. When I started, I bought a lot of my gear pre-used, and I saved a lot of money by not going all out on things like a racing helmet. So if you are getting started, please don't get too carried away thinking you need to spend a boatload of money on really expensive gear. So with that said, the first thing that we need is a helmet. That costs $210. You can definitely find a helmet for much cheaper than that. We need a race suit. That's going to cost $180. Racing gloves cost $99. We need a rib protector, which is going to cost $350. This is the one item I recommend that you do not cheap out on, guys. I know it sounds ridiculous and you're going to be thinking, hold on, I don't need a rib protector, but trust me, you do. The forces and impacts that we experience out on track go straight to our ribs, and without a rib protector, you will 100% end up with a serious rib injury. It happened to me, and that's why I'm saying all this. So make sure you get a rib protector that is actually going to protect your ribs properly, and I think you'll thank me later on that. So the next and last thing we'll need is our race shoes, which come to $180, and that brings all of our must-have race gear to a total of $1,019. Next up is must-have tools, and for this list I've included all of the different things that you probably haven't thought of which you'll need for karting. Keep in mind this doesn't include all of the essentials like spanners, screwdrivers. I haven't included those things. If you are someone who has no tools and you really are new to all of this mechanical things, you're starting from scratch, well then what I recommend is that you look at the Kart Maintenance Toolkit. It costs $399, and it literally is just one big kit in a toolbox. It comes with all of the different tools and basic maintenance things that you will need to get you through. I think it's the cheapest and easiest way to get all the basic tools you'll need. So with that in mind, our first item on the must-have tools list is the pressure gauge at $74. We'll need an air inflator to pump up our tires. That's $130. We'll need an impact drill plus battery, $150 for that. We'll need hex keys. We can get that for $7. We'll need a socket set. We can get that for $59. We'll need tire scissors, $179 for that one. A tire bead breaker, that's $90. We'll need a mallet, just in case we need to bend back an axle. That's $12.98. We'll need cutting pliers, which is $8, and then circlip pliers, and that's $15 for that. That brings the total of the must-have tools to $724.98. And obviously, if all you need is the cart maintenance toolkit, then this cost is just going to be $399. Again, you don't really need all these things straight off the get-go. I think building your toolkit is just something that you will grow gradually over time. So next we have our maintenance/running costs, and these are just all the things we'll need to keep our cart running, to maintain it. Stuff like our sprays, our, spark plugs, all that stuff. So first up is our race weekend entry. I've put this as $60. It does change depending on the race that you enter, but let's say $60 for that. Usually entry fees are required for both a practice day and the race day over the course of a race weekend. I think that's something that's worth knowing. Degreaser, $4. Non-fling chain lube, that's something you'll need, and that's usually around $30. Brake cleaner, $10 for that. We'll need air filter oil spray, that's $25. We'll need carby cleaner, $12. We'll need engine oil for our Torini Club Max engine, that costs $22. We'll need sprockets so that we can change the gearing in our cart to suit different tracks. That's usually around $21, and your collection of sprockets will grow over time as you buy them for different tracks. So that's not something you necessarily need to just buy all in one go. For our class and engine, we use the NGK BPR 9ES, and this spark plug costs $8. I change this after every race weekend, but obviously you don't have to, that's very overkill. Cart fuel for a race weekend, let's say that costs us around $20. And repairs, I've just put $250. Might be more, it might be less, usually it's $0. Yeah, that sort of sums up our maintenance/running costs, and that costs $462. Next up is extras you'll need eventually, and these are sort of the items that I would buy last. Like if I was really just wanting to save money the best I can and gradually build up my racing kit over time, these are the things that I'd prioritize at the bottom, okay? Wet tires is the first one. That costs $346 for a set, and we use the LeConte wet tire. These are something that obviously you'll need if you really are wanting to race competitively. You really want to fight for podiums and fight for, the points. When it rains, you're going to need wet tires. Wet rims are going to cost around $300 on Marketplace. It's something that I recommend buying pre-used because you can get them for a very good price on Facebook Marketplace. And the reason that you need wet wheel rims as opposed to the ones that you already have for your slick tires is because the rear wet tires are just not as wide. So we need to have different wheel rims entirely to actually fit those. Next, we have a wet race suit. So this is just like a raincoat basically that goes over the top of your existing race suit. That costs $135. And then lastly, this is just something for comfort, but it's a gazebo, something that you can just pop up for shade and shelter. That costs around $79. So in total, this category comes to $860. So now that we have all those costs sorted, I created one last category, which is hopefully going to be helpful, and that is the general racing costs per year. And this is like once you have everything, right? So you've got all of your gear, you've got your cart, you've got all the essential things, and now it's literally just the cost of running and racing per year. This is a rough estimate based on someone who really is trying to race competitively. They're a member at Oakley Go-Kart Club and they race about 10 races per year, so I'd say racing frequently. I've done this as an overestimate, I think, and you might spend less, you might spend more. It's completely up to you. But anyway, the first thing we've got is 2 sets of wet tires, so that comes to $792. Next is 2 sets of slick tires. That comes to $530. I put down 8 bottles of engine oil for our Torini Club Max engine. That's $176. 8 spark plugs. That's $64. 10 race entries, which is $600. Our kart club membership renewal, which is $390. Our MyLapse transponder renewal, which is $169.50. Our Karting Australia competition license, which is $385. And then our kart repairs, which let's say it's $600 for the year. That gives us a total of $3,706.50. So that is literally all we're paying per year. I honestly think I spend less than that, but a lot of these things that I've listed are if you buy them brand new. And I really, if I was just to leave you with one piece of advice, it is to really try to just buy as many pre-used items as you can. You really can just save so much money by doing that. So that's the cost of entry-level karting. I just really hope that you found this helpful. And I don't know, I just noticed that there's like no information out there about this stuff. So if you would like that cost guide with everything broken down, it has the links to all the items and, you know, the links to the karting shops that I like to use and all the other information. You can get access to that for free. All you do is just go to my Patreon and become a free member. If you have any questions and, you know, maybe I missed something, then just put it down in the comments. Yeah, maybe you do karting already. Let me know how much karting costs you per year. I'd be really interested to know. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please have a good day and I will see you on the next one.